Gila naik atas Farin. Penat benar mukanya. Mute je. Mute. Okay. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all dearest respectful parents and also my dearest students. As for today, I'm Miss Amira from one of the mentors of Superpower English Malaysia. We're going to share to you about how to ace A+ in writing. So a little bit of background of myself. I am actually have a degree in TESOL, and I'm also, as I've already mentioned to you just now, one of the mentors from Superpower English Malaysia, and also a certified teacher from English Cambridge qualification. As you all can see, I am going to share to you about how to get A+ in writing, especially for writing for English. The first thing that you need to know is you need to know the difference between spoken and also written language in English. When we talk about spoken English, we are talking about the fluency of how you speak, how you elaborate the points, especially for speaking tasks, which is your paper 3. And as for written language, we are going to look at your accuracy on the usage of grammar, vocabulary, and also your sentence structure. So I believe that all of you need to know this type of language. As for today, I am going to share to you about how to ace in writing. We will be focusing more on writing. Let me share you the first tip on how to ace in writing. You need to familiarize yourself with scoring criteria. What's meant by scoring criteria? I always teach my students on what is actually scoring criteria. If you already know what your examiner, your teacher look into when marking your answer, you will be more prepared, especially when you are going to sit for your SPM. I always advise my students, remember to use Kolka. What is Kolka? Kolka is actually the theme of the format that your examiner will look into and find in your answer. C, C is the content. When it comes to writing, you need to have the correct content. How can I find content? You can find your content in your question. Now, moving on to O. O is organization. What is organization? Organization here means when you want to do the question, your answer, you need to know the format. There will be a few types of format that you must know in writing. There will be 7 actually. I've always shared to you in my premium mentoring class, my OTC class, and also my super scorers class. Moving on to L. L is language. When it comes to language, you already know, you must master these 3 things. The first one would be the usage of your grammar. The second one would be the usage of your vocabulary. And the third one, the usage of your sentence structure. So you need to know and master it starting from now. Moving on to CA, these would be the last things or points that your examiner will find in your examination answer. CA means communicative achievement. When it comes to communicative achievement, you must know your target audience. To whom would you like to answer, to send to the email, for example? I give you one situation. If you want to send your email to your principal, what kind of tone that you need to write in your essay, in your email? Is it formal or informal or semi-formal? I believe you know already the answer. This is what we call it as communicative achievement. Now, moving on to the next one. The second tip from me. You need to enhance your grammatical usage, your grammar usage. When it comes to grammar, we can actually know there's a lot of things that relates to grammar. But if you refer to your textbook as for Form 4, Full Blast, and also Form 5, your download textbook, they're already given you what are the perfect and also the most powerful grammar that you need to know. For example, in your textbook, download, Unit 1, Module 1, it's personal. You need to know how to use present simple tense, present perfect tense, and whatnot. If you already know and you have the checklist, it will make your life easier because you can know what you need to focus more on and you can do exercise on that tenses and also the grammar. As you all can see, our textbook is very powerful. So please befriend and make them your best friend forever. Moving on to tips 3. Right? You need to expand your vocabulary. What is meant by expand your vocabulary? Yeah. There's a lot of vocabulary that you need to know. Am I right? So use your textbook. Why? Because in your textbook, there will be a lot of themes that relates to your SPM question. For example, I give you one example, global trotting, people and culture. When it comes to global trotting in people and culture, you've already know that the question might ask you about traveling, especially for your email question. Can you suggest me where can I go for my holiday? That would be examples of theme in the textbook. Other than that, you need to know the usage of synonym and also antonym. When it comes to synonym, you can change the answer into the same or nearly the same meaning word. For example, important. We always use important in our AC, am I right? As for now, you can actually exchange it. Exchange into the synonym word like vital or crucial, and it can actually boost your language marks. Other than that, you can also use the antonym word. For example, I prefer all of your students to not use the word negative. The negative words, such as not. For example, smoking is not healthy for us. You can use the word, we need to prevent ourselves from smoking. It would be better. Why? Because you change the negative word into a positive word. This is a tip for you. And then the first things that you need to know when it comes to use your textbook, especially for Form 4 and Form 5, you need to get to know the main topic that likely to come up in the test. For example, the theme, consumerism. When it comes to consumerism, we are talking about shopping, financial awareness. So the most likely topic or question that relates to the theme would be online shopping. You can see a lot of examination, past year examination, trial examination papers relates to writing that have included online shopping. So you can use that theme in order to do some revision. This would be your aha moment here. Like I said just now, you can start by analyzing past year questions to identify recurring topics and also theme. After you already check the exam papers, you can do some checklists. For example, during 2021, almost of the papers are focusing more on people and culture. And then you can make a difference. Then you can compare 2021 and also 2022. What are the most popular themes that has been used during your SPM, actual SPM paper? Why I say you need to do some checklists? If you have your checklist, you know how what to focus more on, especially for the theme, and also the question that might come in your trial. Next, let's take a look at these themes in your textbook, full blast for Form 4. Let's chat, ready for anything, buy it, being teens, imagine and whatnot. These are the things that you need to master on. Next, these are the list of theme for topics for Form 5 download textbook. I've already give you the checklist. So what you need to do is, you need to find the vocabulary, especially the difficult word in your textbook. After that, you need to find the meaning. Use your technology. Even you don't have any dictionary in your hand, but you can use Google. I recommend you to use Cambridge Dictionary online if you want to find the meaning of the word in English. After that, after you find the difficult meaning, the difficult words and the meaning, make a checklist. Write it on your notebook, your iPad, whatnot, your tablet, and then make a sentence by using that word. If you have this kind of exercise to do, you will be more confident to use that word. Why? Because you've already know the meaning. And you can use it in your AC. Next, the fourth tips. You need to plan your AC. When it comes to writing, you need to have a plan, especially outline. We call it as outline. The reason why you need to plan your essay is because if you don't plan, you don't know where to write, where I'm going to stop, because you don't know the path. Dear students, you have 1 hour and 30 minutes to answer the question. Use your time wisely. I always advise you in a class, plan your essay by using outline. You have 1 hour and 30 minutes to answer 3 parts. The first part would be email. The second part would be your guided writing. And the third part would be your extended writing. I always advise you to make sure that you have enough time to recheck your answer. So I also advise you to manage your time. For part 1 would be 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. And then part 2, guided writing, make it 30 minutes. And as for extended writing, 45 minutes maximum. Why I give extended writing maximum time for you to write? Because you need to choose the question. Am I right? Let me share you 1 tips on how to plan your AC. You can use facts formula. Facts formula is very powerful because it can be your outline, it can be the reason on how to generate the idea for your content, and also to know what you are going to see or to write. I have 1 student. She told me that she cannot write an essay. She knows the content, but she don't know how to generate the idea, to elaborate the points. After I show her facts formula in my class, she said she can do the essay. She can elaborate the point. She can write a sentence. And last Sunday, she texted me and then she said she got 50/60 for her essay, just because she's using facts formula. Dear students, you need to plan your essay. If not, you cannot get an idea. And you can lose your marks because you just wasted your time, look into the paper, and you don't write anything. Let me share you facts formula. We will focusing more on facts. F is the format. So you already know the format and how you want to write the AC. Second one will be A, your target audience. If you know the target audience, you will know the tone. And it will prevent you to use a certain words that inappropriate for your audience. C, the content. If you don't have the correct content based on the question, you might lose your marks. And it will prevent yourself to not get an A's in your examination. To find a content, it needs a few skills because you can get lost in the question itself. In my class, I always give some tips on how to find the content. Moving on to T. T is task. When it comes to task, this is actually how you want to elaborate and generate your idea in your content. If you don't have any idea to elaborate your content, you need to do some practice. It is actually related to your tip 4, which is you need to find past year's examination papers or trials in order to find the content and to do the task. If the content have 3, so your task must have 3. Now moving on to subject. If you know the theme, you know what to write. It is actually relates to your part 3, which is your vocabulary. If you master your vocabulary, you can relate it to your content and also the subject. Now, what you need to do after you know the outline, you need to do practice by using facts formula as an outline. If you don't practice it, you cannot do the T part, the task part, because it needs practice. If you don't practice, you cannot elaborate the point. Other than that, you can use facts formula to make a sentence. We can relate it into a sentence structure. When it comes to sentence structure, language, sentence structure, you need to know 4 types of sentence structure. The first sentence structure is simple structure. When it comes to simple structure, when you usually or frequently use simple sentence structure, you can only get 3 marks for that. It relates to your language. So what you need to do is, you need to boost up your sentence structure. Make it complex, make it compound, or you can make compound complex when you write your answer. I always advise my students and also give the formula to write a sentence structure that can make their marks more than or higher than people who write in simple sentence structure. After you have the outline, you can do your AC. The reason why you can do all your AC, because you've already know. Paragraph 1, what should I write? Paragraph 2, what should I write? Paragraph 3, what should I put? How to elaborate it? It can make your time, or you can manage your time wisely when it comes to outline. Now, who can help and monitor your progress? You need a certified English mentor. The reason why I say you need a mentor, because during your classroom, in your school, there's a lot of classmates, right? And your teacher cannot give more attention to you. So if you want more attention, especially for English subject, you need to find a certified mentor, not just an online tuition. You need to have the certified, because if you only choose a good or that have a certified in English subject, you can know the format. You can know the scoring scheme. You can know how to make an outline. And he or she can give tips on how to score A+ in English. For example, tomorrow, and also tomorrow, I have 2 classes for you. The first one would be a workshop on how to score in your trial SPM. The second one, I have one mentoring class for you. We will be focusing more on the grammatical part, and it will help you during your school holiday session. You need to use your school holiday, not just have a leisure time, going on vacation, and whatnot. You need to use this time in order for you to do some revision. For me, I believe if you use all the time that left for you to do some revision, you can get A+. You can change your result into a better grade. During my workshop technique, I will tell you the question that might come in your trial examination, not just the topic. We will give you the technique, the practical part, the technical part on how to write the AC. For example, when we give you the question, we will not give you the question only. We will give you step by step on how to use our formula, which is our outline facts formula, in the class. And you can ask us during the class itself. At that time, during the workshop, you can also ask us if you don't understand about the topic. And we will give you the ways on how to elaborate it and how to answer it. We also have our own group in order for you to share to us your questions, maybe your exercise that you have done it, your past year's question that you have done it, and you don't know who to answer or to mark your papers. You can send it to us in the WhatsApp group. Not just we mark your answer, we will give you feedback, or we always say feed forward for you in order to improve yourself and also to upgrade your grade into a better result. Now, as for the Q&A section, let me read the question from all of you in the YouTube. Teacher cannot just write how we, sorry, I can't. Teacher cannot just write how we speak, right? Yes, correct. Because as you can see, I've already stated in my first point, there will be spoken and also written language. If you write a spoken language, it would be a broken language for writing. It is because speaking, we want to see your fluency. We don't see your accuracy in your grammatical errors, your sentence structures and whatnot. Oh, hello, hi. Is there any question that you would like to ask? No question, it's okay. Now let me tell you a little bit more on my program. Our program for tomorrow. It will be held on a platform, Zoom platform. And it is on 2nd of September at 8:30 p.m. And we will cover about writing. We'll be more focusing on the question about how to score and also the popular question for writing. Sorry, I can't see the question. How to write an amazing part 3, how to write an amazing story in part 3. I always can't score in that. Good question, Broken. I like your question. That's interesting. For me, if you want to write a story, you need to have a good vocabulary. This is actually the difference between story, report, or even article and also article and also review. You need to have what we call as creative writing. How to make your story creative? The first thing that you must put in your AC would be the things that we call senses. You can use all your 5 senses. It is because the difference between story and talking is when talking, you can hear or listen to the intonation. But when it comes to story, you cannot see it in your naked eyes. So you need to make your reader to understand your story by using your 5 senses, your adjective, and also your adverb. Here's a tip from me. Use adjective. use adverb, and use all your 5 senses when writing your story. It will make your reader easier to understand the situation, the environment, the movement of your story. Next question. Miss, which is better to? Sorry, I can't see the question. Miss, which is better to choose? Review? Which is better to choose? As for the third part, right? Story, review, article, or story, review, article, report. For me, if you are a practical person, a practical student, and you can remember the format, you can go for a report. You can go for a resume. Sorry, for the article, for review. You can go for a story. I always advise my students to know all the 4 formats. Why? If you know all the 4 formats, when it comes to the actual SPM question, we don't know. Maybe the report question is easier for you to answer rather than review or story. You need to choose the question that you can easily to elaborate. You can get points more from that. That would be my advice. Next question. So we need to maximize our usage of apostrophes and exclamation marks. All right, Miss? Yes, that would be a good point. You can also use your punctuation during your writing a story. It can also make your reader to understand the feelings of the person, the character that you want to write. Good tips, yes. Very good. Is there any other question that you would like to ask when it comes to writing? I believe all of you love to give me a question for part 3 because that part you need to choose wisely. And you have 1 hour and 30 minutes and you will use more of the time to choose and to write part 3. During my class for part 3, I will always ask them to understand the prompt. What is prompt? Prompt is actually the instruction and also the points that the question gave you. If you know what to write, you can just write it. The 2 things that you need to master on when answering part 3 is, first one, you need to know the format. If you don't know the format, you might lose your marks, even though you have a good points. The second one, you need to choose the things that you can easily elaborate on. Next question. Yeah, even me having the same question, just like using Gonna and brother. Miss, can we use modern term like bro during our essay? I'm really sorry. This is actually against our format. We cannot just use what we call as bro, gonna, wanna. That would be, this is not a writing language. That would be not a writing language for you, not appropriate writing language. You need to use, when it comes to informal, you need to understand what is informal all about. Even though we are writing to your friend, your cousins, your brother, your sister, you need to prevent yourself to use that's what we call it as slang. Please prevent yourself to use slang words. Even though in TikTok you always use slay and whatnot, but in real life, the slay word is not mean like this. No. It means killing. So when your examiner answer your question, mark your answer. Why the student write slay in the answer? I can't relate it. It is because you use it as a slang. So please prevent yourself to use slang words, especially for vulgar words. Please, please, please prevent yourself to do it. Email also cannot write, miss. Yes, you can't use it. There will be 3 tones that you need to know when it comes to write your essay. The first one is informal, the second one is formal, and the third one is semi-formal or semi-formal. For informal part, I believe all of you might say, it is informal, so I can use slang language. Cannot. I'm really sorry, you can't use slang words. Even if it's in the email or your story. Even though I said you can use creative writing, am I right? But please prevent yourself to write slangs word. Is there any question, other question that you would like to, would you like me to answer? All right. Let me emphasize the 5 tips that I've already shared to you. The first one would be, you need to know the scoring grid. The second one, you need to know and enhance your grammatical usage. The third one, what you need to know is, you need to practice yourself. Use your vocabulary. The fourth one would be sentence structure. You need to use the correct sentence structure in order for you to get a good grade. And last but not least, you need to find a certified mentor in order for you to assist, to facilitate you for English subject. And I have an important reminder for you. If you are interested to join my workshop tomorrow, you can just message me or you can PM me on WhatsApp. No, Miss Clear. Alhamdulillah, it's very clear. I hope you learned something today in order for you to ace in your writing. And I hope I can see you in my next workshop session. And please remember to use these 5 tips that I've already shared to you just now. Is there any question? If no, very well. Most welcome, Broken. Thank you so much for the question. I really hope that you learned something today. And I really hope that you can apply what I've already shared to you just now here on YouTube Live. Before we end, I want to share you a few things. If you didn't follow my YouTube channel, please subscribe now. And also you can find these 3 mentors from Superpower English on TikTok. We shared to you on how to answer questions, especially for grammatical parts, writing, speaking, and also listening during our live on TikTok. So if you want to engage more with us, you can find us at Superpower English SPM on TikTok. If you want to find us in Instagram, you can just find Superpower English Official. I think that's all from me. I hope you learned something, and I can't wait to see you in my other workshop session. That's all from me, Miss Amira. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.